Greetings, friends. So, how do meditations come about? Here's a question that has come to us. But look, I understand that the person is talking about the flows, about the meditations that I share with you, about the meditations that authors flows and cosmic energy flows. I will certainly try to explain what it is, how it works. Autogenic training is different from the meditative flow, from the practice, the basic flow, the empty bamboo. I told you that you need to activate the lower dantian. You need to feel and recognize the middle dantian with a smile. You need to open the upper dantian. You need to roll back. By rolling back, you create an empty space, so to speak. That is, you take your ego, your ideas, and all of that out of yourself. You are like a hollow empty tube, an empty bamboo, through which energy flows easily and freely. In this flow of energy, you begin to feel more and more how you connect with the sky and the earth. At some point, you may lose your boundaries. This is, in fact, a meditative state. That is, you are a conduit, you are an empty bamboo. At that moment, when you as a person are absent, but there is a structure through which energy flows, it indicates that there is sky and earth, and the possibility to conduct energy through yourself. The energy flow activates when your basic flow starts to move through you. That is indeed your carrier. That is you. That is essentially the kind of flow you essentially have. In relation to this, you can, for example, I provided an osteopathic flow, meaning this is my diagnostic block, and these are my developed, ingrained subconscious mechanisms. Regarding how I palpate someone else's body, that is, what I feel, in my heart and mind, how I carefully and thoughtfully build my structure, and how I meticulously tune my mind to work effectively and efficiently in the field of osteopathy. These specific settings and approaches I have consciously and deliberately copied from my mentors and experiences. Once again, what does it truly mean to have copied in this context, and how does it impact my practice and understanding? When you study cosmoenergetics, there are several levels. There is a beginner level, usually 6 flows, or a Buddhist block. Then there is the master level, where you have Buddhist magical blocks and, essentially, a master edge. And there is a master's block, and one of the most important programs is, so to speak, Petrov's black box, which contains copying programs. That is, through this black box, I copy. Yes, we've all heard the legends about the black box. Working with the black box, it's like this. Those who see, don't see. This one sees. He doesn't need the box. He copies on his own. You know, among those who see, I haven't seen a single one at Petrov's level. And even more so, I haven't seen anyone who could create something similar. What Petrov has done is truly serious work. That is, such blocks don't just lie around on the street. You can't just conjure them out of thin air. Yes, why? So you start to figure it out. It's really like you walk into a hacker's, so to speak, kitchen, and he's got wires, circuit boards, a bunch of monitors, and he's there with crazy eyes, yeah, pounding away at the keyboard, and you don't really understand anything, just those symbols, codes, right? And you're like, what's up? Tell me in 3 words. Well, the person is coding, yeah, writing programs, right. We then see these programs in action, how they work as a finished application. It's the same here, yeah. So all these flows in cosmic energy aren't just some, well, oh, what an elevated state. Yeah, let me pass you this elevated state. Everyone has their own state. But the program, for example, is a set of energy into the aura. So, this is already, essentially, a program. This means that we know how to influence and control a specific cell within the aura, within the structure scheme, in such a way that the natural set of these energies from the surrounding environment gets activated, naturally and effectively. In the usual sense, it doesn't work. People don't take energy from the environment. For some reason, the subconscious has blocked this ability. There is a program, for example, to take and create synthesis. Synthesis is an even more complex concept. Imagine materialization. If we talk about our world, it's materialization. Something arose from nothing. For better understanding, yes, there is a microwave oven, right? There are some rays here, some rays there, and at the intersection of these rays, yes, certain vibrations arise. These vibrations resonate with water molecules and, in fact, they shake them somehow because the water molecules start vibrating at this frequency, right? It heats up. And here, it turns out, you give one wave with your own edge, one part, and another, and at their intersection, a certain synthesis is created. That is, you gradually begin to gain more and more of the ability to create various different types of energetic informational blocks within your own, and then outside of your field structure. These blocks themselves, let's say ferrous, when creating these little triangles, there are many of them. They are small, yes, and there, well, let them be golden. That is, when they pass through a person, indeed, this is like the shimmering golden sand, this radiant golden fire. It truly cleanses dirt. It cleanses negative energy. Also, it cleanses negative energy, strengthens the walls of the meridians. This lies an even greater value of this flow. It not only cleanses the meridians, but also strengthens and restores them. This is very important because meridians, like the circulatory system, can lose the tone of the vessels and, in fact, then allow internal bleeding or some kind of disruption. Therefore, it is important for the vessels to be, so to speak, yes, there can be cholesterol plaques and various calcifications and so on. There is practically a similar kind of movement in the energetic world. This is to cleanse. Yes, this meridian. There is a program that, first of all, is designed to effectively and efficiently synthesize and analyze what itself gives a kind of zero regarding good and bad energy. That is, before the fairest frequency is initiated, there is really no understanding of whether this energy is beneficial or not. So when there is fairest, you gave it. If it hasn't moved anywhere, that's good energy. And if you gave it, and it starts to flow, that means it's beginning to be cleared away. This indicates that this energy is not suitable for the body to function properly. And if there is no understanding of whether the energy is suitable or unsuitable in the energetic structure, it feeds on everything freely. Consequently, it gets sick, and various other difficulties arise when there is an opportunity to cleanse. A strong step forward already appears. There are other more complex programs. There are also other sub-programs. Within programs, and eventually even deeper ones at the 3rd and 5th levels. Multifaceted programs. Plus, they are also connected to some sources. Let's try to turn this all around from another perspective, that there are certainly certain controlling instructions and commands. For example, to restore the skin and subcutaneous tissue, to eliminate disturbances. Let's say we need a way of identifying these disturbances, like which one of yours. Again, a whole table from which you calculated each disturbance, and for this particular disturbance, you write down that, let's say, expenditure synthesizes energy resonating with it. Yes, with its counterparty. This counterparty will excite, then remove, meaning in sequence. First this step followed by another, so as such an algorithmic chain becomes your program. This program is essentially the flow. Everything that remains is to fundamentally place this flow, this program, on the edge of the aura in such a manner that it stays there, and to securely attach a password phrase to it. In other words, roughly speaking, to overlay a password phrase on the program itself, so that when the mind triggers the password phrase, well, it doesn't matter, a thought form or whatever can be written. Coca-Cola, yes, Fairest, Foreign-Buta, Shan, Kron. In other words, any strange word, yes, can mean a password. Strange, so you don't accidentally name it. Although the intention still works, but an important point, yes, is that in everyday life this word doesn't come up. When you set the intention, for example, I am now activating this program, and you say it internally to your subconscious, you pronounce this password phrase, you have this initiation, and it opens those doors for you, it reveals this flow to you. This is how programs are created. Naturally, the more complex the program is, the more information it inherently contains, and inherently, the more it is felt, the less information it has, the more light and airy it becomes, in essence. Take Reiki, for example. It can be said to be very flow-based, right? The information there is minimal. When we start to structure the flow with Chokurei, that is, the basic foundation of cosmic energy practices, yes, that is, we essentially start to gradually layer information onto what comes from the source, creating basic programs in a systematic manner. Accordingly, as far as your understanding has come, it's hard for me to grasp, but that's roughly how it is. Of course, I explained it to you in terms that are easy to grasp, like a programmer who, so to speak, taps on the keys, in a way that is easy to understand. But to understand what this is, you need to activate your biocomputer. You need to see that colorful carpet. That transmits the matrix of what flows through you via the central channel. Those same 96% of information that you don't consciously perceive transit through you from the cosmos to the earth, from the earth to the cosmos, and to other people. We, as a transformational booth, receive and transmit a large amount of information, nonverbal content, in a manner that is clear and concise. And a person, whatever percentage is open for them, what is open, that's what we see as physical reality. If you start to expand, physical reality remains somewhere far away in any way, and you indeed start to see those rainbows, see various energy elements, the multiverse, let's say, yes, so the multidimensionality becomes clear to you, yes, what it is, why it's all being hyped right now, why it's all being exalted, because it truly exists. Indeed, in our world, yes, there are many layers of other worlds embedded in it. They are right here, literally, right next to us, and all you really need to do is simply to be able to turn on your amazing biocomputer to start with. Initially, and then gradually learn to tune it, carefully adjust it, to accurately read something else. But, friends, believe me, there's no need to read anything else. The spectrum that comes for other worlds is for those other worlds. Not for you, that is. You can simply read what can help you. For example, I'm interested in physical health. I say that yes, I want to be young and healthy. What interests you? I don't know. Ask yourself what you want. It seems to me that this is a very interesting question, which in its own way will address the question, who am I? This who am I can emerge from what you truly want. But then, if you treat both questions as rhetorical and keep turning them over in your mind, by contemplating the nature of these questions and their impact on your life, you will move your consciousness closer to who you really are, to what you truly want, and by embracing the journey of self-discovery, you can gradually enter those magical, interesting altered states of consciousness, not through any special practices or shock therapy, but through meditation here and now. Creating flows is an incredibly serious, complicated process if you just take it like that. In a way. Most often, these flows tend to drift. They are unstable in nature, and after a while, over time, the one who created the flow starts to gradually lose it. In many cases, unfortunately, the flows created by novices in an attempt to do something often yield negative results. These efforts by those who are not yet experienced in the field can lead to unexpected and undesirable outcomes, because crafting an algorithm that will truly help, that will genuinely do good work, always requires not only a clear mind and precise calculation, but also a certain creativity. A certain understanding the world, understanding the processes at play. It always involves deep analysis. It is always a profound process of immersing oneself in creativity. It is a task that, indeed, fundamentally requires a deep and thorough understanding of the intricacies involved. And in this creativity, imagination, and exploration, it's about crafting and designing the drawing which will enable such processes, and then rolling it back in practice to see if this flow actually performs these processes. Or it may turn out that this flow does not perform these processes, or the opposite. Yes, we see feedback from 1, 2, 3 people. They say, yes, this helped me, this changed for me, I realized this clicked for me. And I suggest to you not to overload yourself too much with how exactly these flows are structured. The point is that they exist. And at the very least, the programs of basic classical cosmoenergetics, yes, even though I changed the source, the internal content is still exactly what it was. So, for those who have uncovered and revealed their vision, who have slightly and gently opened their perception, well, please, let's develop the taste, color, and smell, and as I said, let's unroll the carpet. Look at these inclusions and try to extract, understand, and realize what exactly this program does. And savor a little more. When these understandings come, we open other flows, we open other programs, and then, when transitioning from the Buddhist block to the magical block, I assure you, everything will be clear and comprehensible about what is happening, where and from where someone is flying, how they are moving in the process. Everything will be very clearly visible and understandable, and transitions, and movements, and directions, and clarity. I wish each of you to reach these levels and gain your wonderful experience of experiencing this magical reality. Meditate with us, light and love.